Well, I decided to put up more of this interview with Deborah Tavares, but I have to say, once again, thank you to that subscriber. Thank you for passing this along to me, because this is the part where Deborah Tavares is talking about that they have been increasing these frequencies for mind control. You can go back to my SkyShares, and I have said in many of them, I know they have increased these frequencies. Not only could I feel it, I can see it. Anyway, I hope you're listening. This is a very, very important interview, and I sure do hope that you're doing your part to circulate it and get it out to your friends, to your family. Tweet it, Twitter it, Facebook it, email it, discuss it, circulate it.
Now, I can't express that enough. Read this for yourself. More importantly, understand the massive attack. This is not to scare you, but this is to inform you. We are getting very sick. This is all by design. When we're too sick to function, then we can be easily manipulated. We have autism, we have cancers and heart seizures, and people are having nosebleeds from the frequencies and the smart meters. We have rapidly problems with aging and skin irritation and difficulty sleeping. They are jamming our immune systems, and we have to stop this. We have to understand how we've already been controlled by lack of knowledge. In the document, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, you will see that, according to the document, the international elite did decide in 1954 to wage a quiet war against us and shift all the wealth from the irresponsible many into the hands of the responsible worthy few. That's a quote from the document. And they go on to say, in view of the law of natural selection, it was agreed that a nation or world of people who will not use their intelligence are no better than animals who do not have intelligence. Such people are beasts of burden and stakes on the table by choice and consent. The goal is to establish an economy with a totally predictable and manipulable outcome. The masses will have to be trained and assigned a yoke in life from a very early age. And they go on to talk about how they will create this through breaking up the families, that was an important process so that we would become isolated. We wouldn't have the network of family. That's exactly what they've done. There is no more important document to read than Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Put everything else down and read this 44-page document. Now, for those that are listening that cannot download this document, you may call this phone number and we will get it sent to you for the cost of shipping and copying the document, because we want everybody to have this available. You can call area code 707-586-9558. Again, area code 707-586-9558. You can order that document. Actually, we've put a document package together of the things that we think you need to read most immediately. We don't have a lot of time, because as these frequencies amp up all around us intentionally, we will be under massive mind control. Now, if you know about this mind control in advance, there are many things that you can do to protect yourselves from being manipulated and thrown into the chaotic society that they are creating. And so by reading these source documents, you will get an immediate handle on what they're planning to do from that historical perspective, and then you can lie on top of that the NASA war plan and understand the attack is unbelievable. They are going to be doing this in Syria. The NASA war plan on page 43 tells us that they will use a micron-sized dust. They'll distribute it as an aerosol, and we'll inhale it into our lungs. They say that this will bore into our lung tissue and execute various pathological missions. This is, they say, say legal. There's nothing legal about all of this. We have been deceived. We have a government that has been taken over, and we have been told to obey. It's the law. It is not the law. We cannot blindly go into the night believing that we are being told the truth here. We are not. And every single day, it is getting more difficult to survive. And while we still have a chance, we must do all we can and recognize we are at war. Get this information to all your families and friends. Put magnetic signs on your cars with websites. We are the media, and we've got to massively get out this information because we are under siege.
Hold the thought, Deborah. We'll be right back, and give us a call. Well, there is certainly a subversive element out there, ladies and gentlemen. He's led by the Rockefeller and a number of other very wealthy people who want to bring about a one-world government. And as David Rockefeller says in his memoirs, some even believe we're part of a secret cabal working against the best interest of the United States, conspiring with others to build a more integrated global political and economic structure. And if that's the charge, I am guilty and I am proud of it. Ladies and gentlemen, these people are internationalists, they're subversive, and they're working at the highest levels of our government. And right now they want to plunge us into a terrible, terrible conflict over there in the Middle East. How this is going to work out, I just don't know. But pray that certainly the Congress does not vote to give Obama the permission to go ahead. Now, John Boehner, the head of the Republican Party, basically his wife lives elsewhere. Apparently he has certainly been playing around, or he's been seduced under any circumstances. They own him, ladies and gentlemen. They own Boehner, as they own so many of our congressmen. They certainly have spies there. They send attractive women to compromise them. And because most men are attracted to women. Unfortunately, Boehner and many of the others have certainly compromised their very souls. And Boehner is willing to, he is the House Majority Leader. He's willing to sell us out and take us into a battle over there. And basically, ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand what's going on now. You need to go to Deborah's website. You need to get her material. You need to pull it down and read it through half a dozen times. It'll take you that long to understand the significance of what she has. But this is one of the finest websites in the country. Now, if you're out there in the listening audience, you have a question, our telephone number is 1-800-259-5791, 1-800-259-5791 for this hour. Deborah, you go right ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Stan. I want to just give an example of one of the attacks upon us. Now, I know we've spoken many times on past radio shows, Dr. Stan, about the smart meter, the global smart grid. And for those that want to watch the video, the conference that I gave, please go to stopthecrime.net, scroll down on the home page, and listen to my conference that I gave to the Oath Keepers. It will connect Agenda 21, Future Earth, with the Wildlands Project, with the military documents that say these frequencies are indeed weaponized and will injure 100% of the population. So I urge you to understand the details of that. I'm not going to take the time right now, Dr. Stan, to go through those details. I'm going to rely on everybody to please watch that information because I'm going to lay out some new information about the global smart grid and what has happened here in the United States recently. By executive order, each and every city across the United States, through their planning department, is required to implement what they call a climate action plan based on phony, bogus science, based on the idea that we are required to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions and CO2. That is a fraud. Now, here in Sonoma County, our planning department recently put this through, and it was voted on by our city council, and here's what it says. This is very important to listen very, very carefully here. This is about the smart meters. It said that by the year 2015, that's only 2 years away, Sonoma County, our area where I live, must reduce our greenhouse gas emissions 25% below 1990 levels. 25% below 1990 levels. They don't have levels calculated for 1999. It's bogus false science anyway. They're back engineering bogus numbers. They're requiring that the cities eliminate and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So what are they requiring? Smart meters on every single home. The opt-out plan that you've heard so much about was only a temporary appeasement plan to give us the sense of a victory while they worked in the back door to require this. They are requiring that we all install Energy Star appliances. Those are the appliances with the RFID chips in them, the sensors. They interact with the required smart meters on our homes. This is a military deployment. In order to bring in this one world government, they must have everything monitored 24/7, 365. This grid is a must in order to control us completely. Again, do not obey. Do not consent. This is the only way that we're going to survive this massive frequency attack up on us. It's well advanced, but we still have time to not allow our brains to be taken over by these frequencies. Another aspect about the smart grid is this. I'm sure that many of you recall back in 2008, the White House promised, Obama specifically, that he would bankrupt the coal industry that supports over 80,000 jobs. So he said, quote, so if anybody wants to build a coal-powered plant, they can. It's just it will bankrupt them because they're going to have to be charged a high sum for all that greenhouse gas that's being emitted. He threatened us then. And during the campaign, Obama remarked, we can't drive our SUVs and eat as much as we want and keep our homes at 72 degrees at all times and then just expect that other countries are going to say, okay. They're bankrupting the coal industry, and this is illustrated in the climate action plans. And here in Sonoma County, our climate action plan says they want us to transition out of all gas appliances and out of all gas equipment. They're shutting down the coal industry through these climate action plans that are by executive order. Now, to get the details of what you hear me saying to you, go to stopthecrime.net and scroll down and it will say the smart meter opt-out was only an appeasement plan. Now understand, they say in these various plans not to worry. You're going to be required to retrofit all your old clunker, inefficient appliances, but you will be given the opportunity to have green mortgages. They say that it will cost anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000 per household to transition under the retrofitting requirement of all of our appliances. That is one reason GE was moved to China, slave labor, so they could manufacture the global replacement of appliances, again, to monitor everything we do, and also this is additional pulsed microwave radiation frequencies that will damage us in our homes, again, rendering us incapable to fight back because we're all going to be so sick. So
we never know what you're talking about. Suddenly we're going to get this pulse radiation from the chips that are in all the smart appliances. Is that right?
That's absolutely right, the RFID chips, and that's why I recommend, Dr. Stan, everyone go to stopthecrime.net and watch my talk with the Oath Keepers. I explain that in detail. I have pictures so people can see, so they'll understand the details that are being discussed right now more fully. Also, the increased radiation is coming from all of the cell phone towers and all of the antennas that are being meticulously deployed all over our nation. In fact, this is global. This is all part of the frequency grid, and it is unthinkable. We are being absolutely imprisoned globally by the globalists. We can't allow this. The installation of cell phone towers are not to improve our our cell coverage. This is to, again, once NSA is full up and running, they will be able to track every human being on the planet 24/7, 365. And then they will monitor everything about you, and they can directionalize energy at specific people. They've been doing this for a very long time. This is not any new technology.
Can I absolutely point out that